weather has been so wet these days. My hair is so flat. It's all losing its volume. I need to get it like Belinda's, all curled and all pretty in the front. Let me put in some rollers. In a few minutes, these will be set and ready to go.
I always feather out my eyebrows before applying the product. And without this product, I cannot live my life because this is my everything. Eyebrows makes a face. So let me reapply my lips to get a pop of color. And we're done. So this makes your face pop more and you can see more color. As we're done, let's head on to the salon. There are some pretty ladies waiting for us. To the salon.
Greetings, lords and ladies of note! In today's respectable salon, joined by Miranda, Jennifer, and me, we shall hold a discussion on a poem we chanced to read recently. It's by an English poet called Alexander Pope, and it's titled The Rape of a Lock.
As it's a part of our curriculum, we've searched for the descriptions and analysis made on the poem online and felt like the poem and the poet's intentions with the poem is seen positively by most critics, where they bash the female protagonist in line with the poet's intentions.
As a woman living in the recently equitized 21st century, this portrayal of ladies rubs me off the wrong way. As a woman's worries are trivialized and negatively portrayed in a slightly misogynistic way, I would say, we realize that Pope firstly is common born and a male and has no true idea as to what goes on in the lives of a noble lady.
True. So as Miranda said, I feel like he is commoner and he has a bit of inferiority over that. And then he had tuberculosis, right? We learned that in class. So he has tuberculosis of the spine and he was stunted. He was a bit deformed. And we know how society treats ugly people. So I feel like he had that bitterness in him because the way he describes Belinda, it's like she's his enemy because she's pretty. And the thing is, it's not her fault that she was pretty, right? She was just born that way. She was because there's patriarchy. Patriarchy always tells women to be beautiful. If you are if you're overweight, fix it. If you have skin problems, fix it. So everything is told to us by the patriarchy. So I feel like Belinda, was he that negative of Belinda? Why was he so negative of Belinda?
I feel like the life of a lady is similar to that of a puppet on strings. They're moved around by everything around them since birth. Their destiny is decided the moment they're born, from what they are allowed to study to the married life they must one day lead.
True.
Yeah. And if we talk about the poem is like a satirical epic poem, which was a common form of writing back then. And if we talk about satire, it was used as a literary form to educate people on and humiliate and educate people on what is wrong. And so Pope was satiring the Augustan era, which was really materialistic. And if we were to satire the society, I feel like it was unfair because he only did it around a woman, revolving around a woman. So if you were to do a fair and equal satire, I feel like he should focus both on the men and women and discuss both their faults. So that's where I see the shortcoming.
It's just as Miranda said, women are beat down by society. There's always somebody telling them what to do. They're like birds in a cage. Yeah, Belinda is she's like a bird in a cage. She lives in a very nice looking cage. It's a very golden cage, but it's still a cage, right? Because somebody's always telling her what to do. She always has nothing to do. And why does she have nothing to do? Because she couldn't study. She had no right to have a job. So if society is already beating them, why does the poet need to beat them more?
So it's based on a real incident involving the assault on a lady, which is a grave thing for her reputation. In the olden days, a lot of stock was put into reputation, and after her name has been widely known and even remembered today, her image in high society will be in tatters and she'll find it difficult to get married, which is the main event for the ladies in the past.
True. And I liked what Tenzin compared about being in a golden cage. So I feel like both the parties were at fault. As we know that the real incident happened between two noble families and both the men and women were involved. And as we see in the poem, we only focuses on the fault of the women, and rather than talking about like what was the reason behind, and like it makes it seem like she overrated over a small trivial thing. The poet Alexander Pope portrays like, oh, she was like, you know, overrating over like cutting off a small like piece of hair. It like he just treated it as hair, and like I feel like as a man he couldn't relate it to like how it felt to be a woman, and how, you know, how devastated Belinda would have been. So I feel like it's very unfair. So like
like, you know, like you said, like, you know, about the hair. See, the thing is, a lot of people in our lives, like, you know, they tell us that we're overreacting. You know, like a lot of people, they tell us like, you know, that we're like, you know, we're not like doing enough, or we're doing too much. You know, because like, look at my hair. Do you see? Like, it's not like curly. You know, right? It's like flat, and it falls flat on my face. And you know, my face is quite big. So I need the volume to like, you know, balance out my features. Like, I use a lot of hair products. Okay, like I do like my hair. I get it permed. I get it permed every 7 months, and that cost me like $200. Can you imagine? $200 every 7 months. And then like I use hair products, shampoo, conditioner, treatment, like, you know, essence, masks, serums, and then we buy like, you know, the curling irons. Like, do you know how much that costs? After you like pay that much, you spend that much time, like your hair is going to be precious to you, right? This is like, you know, the like result of everything you've done. You know, all the time you put into it, all the love you like put into it. You know, like how much hair means to a girl, right? We'll not be able to live without it.
So hair is a part of a person's identity. Good hair can make or break one's confidence, and these days a lot of revenue is being generated through hair treatments. As humans are social animals, we're extremely particular as to how we want to perceive by society. It's not a crime to want to look nice, and no one should be able to judge us for it. So for a lot of people, hair holds memories, so it allows individuals to express personality and creativity. As for me, my hair grows extremely slowly, so I'm incredibly careful as to how to style it to cost me minimum.
You know, like it gets damaged so easily, right?
Like we're laughing off right now, but like imagine,
we're like getting very angry. Like, just imagine.
So like I can relate to like, as you can see, the few strands of hair that I've left here, like, you know, just to make my appearance look more, you know, good. So like, so like as like Jennifer said, like we are like very social animals. We care about what the society perceives about us. So like it was no different back then in the Augustan era too, and in fact it had more greater significance back then, as like outer appearance was a great symbol to show like your dignity, to show what class you belong to. And in the in that particular era, like women, they took like special care for their hair, and they had like those long locks, just like how Tangent has tried to portray today.
I couldn't do it.
We tried.
We
so
tried.
Like they had to use like lots of products, and it was limited. So they use like powder to degrease their hair, so that they don't have to waste like wash their hair that much. So like in one hair like session, they put lots of effort and into that. So like they try to maintain the hair intake for like a week. So like imagine going unwashed hair, like keeping your hair unwashed for a week. So like they have to powder their hair to degrade it. So like, and that's about women. And if we talk about men, like high class men used to wear like wigs. Like as it was harder for them to like grow out their hair, they wore like long wigs. So we can say like how significant like appearance was back then.
And like it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, right? Like if you have something and that something is precious to you, you put a lot of time into it. If somebody like takes it from you without asking, and it's not even like they can give it back to you. Like you cut your hair, you can't like glue it back, right? People like they won't say like, oh here, I'm going to like Fevikwik your hair back. It doesn't happen that way. So when something is like taken from you and it's like irreparable, then you get very angry. You get like very sad. Nobody can judge you for how you react after that happens. Like have you watched Maleficent?
It's a nice movie.
It's a nice movie.
You also should watch it.
Sleeping Beauty. So Maleficent, she has wings, and she's a fairy. So fairies and humans were like, they didn't live together. So she fell in love with a human. She trusted that human, and then like she like slept in his presence. Like she fell asleep. That means that she trusted him enough to fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
And he cut off her wings.
Yeah.
So like, can you imagine how it feels like to have like your wings, what you fly, cut off from you? It's like he's taking away her freedom. He's taking away like her free will. Like Maleficent's wings represent her innocence in that sense. So Belinda's hair is also like her freedom. She's like using this to like marry somebody nice and then like get like money for herself, get a life for herself. But if you cut that off, that means you're cutting her future off. Right?
Yeah. So in this regard, I feel that Pope was being incredibly insensitive to a human being's pain, as a joke is only funny until it can make the subject laugh.
True.
When it doesn't, it's just harassment towards a woman who's had her bodily autonomy taken away from her. So in this way, the women are criticized for playing along to the rules and trying to make the best out of the situation patriarchy had put them in. She's doing what she's supposed to be demure and don't question anything. But with her beauty as a boost, she's trying to make a better deal for herself.
Yeah, and like as like Tenzin just discussed and like Jennifer just talked about, like when something is like forcibly taken from you, you'll break down. Like, like
for sure.
it's not only about the women. Like let's go as a man and like let's just cut off his like mustache.
Yeah.
How will he feel? So like it's a hair. Like it's a part of our identity. I feel like, and like just because like we're like poet. Alexander Pope doesn't care that much about looks doesn't mean like he can condemn like anyone for like trying to look better. So like I feel like if he cared like about that much and to write a satire on it, I feel like he should have also like wrote it from like the men's point of view. And like since he's not a lady, and I feel like he's just writing a far-fetched fairy tale because it feels like it's entirely based on his imagination, and like he couldn't understand what Belinda like went through. So like in my opinion, it's not like a true telling of events, even though it's like based on a real life incident. I don't feel like it did justice to what Belinda felt.
Like he was telling a fairy tale, from a man's point of view. He was imagining something. He was like, oh, this is what women feel. This is how women react. Women are very emotional. They cry very easily. If somebody cuts off their hair, then like they're broken. Like, why do you think that is? Why do you think like a woman would break if you cut her hair? It's because like to a woman, she has only looks. She has nothing but looks. Looks is what's keeping her like in society. Looks is what will get her married. If you take away that look, then like what will happen to the woman? If she doesn't get married, she'll live in her father's home forever. And then what? People will call her names. They'll say that, oh, she's unmarried. So this satire, it feels empty because the target audience is made to make fun of the targeted sex. Like Pope's intentions, they feel dubious, as it seems to be greatly colored by his own views, which I don't think are very kind towards women. Like, are they? Like, do you think?
Perhaps it was a fruit of his era where women's opinions aren't deemed important enough to care deeply about. But in the modern world, at least for half of the world's population, this satire feels like an added slap given by the patriarchy rather than serving the purpose of a satire.
True. So like, so this was a modern feminist take on like how the poem was written in 18th century, and like we try to relate it to like our modern day, and we can see like how like appearance is still relevant to this day, and how we still care about society and like conventions. So like this was our take. So like, what's your opinion about our like analysis? So like, do you think it's valid or unfair towards the poet's intentions? So like, that's what we want to like ask you. So like, if you feel like you want to add some more, like please
feel free to like let us know.
Yeah, we're open to any comments. So
our viewers, see you again.
Bye.